rabbits, and there's one more. There's one more. Oh, the meat, the meat chickens, the meat chickens that only go for 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh, the poultry chickens. You got the poultry chickens, then you got the
The egg chickens, the egg
got
lay.
you. And we all the way live. What? All the way live. Uh, told you, told you, Rumble. Just give us a second, and we'll be
So,
on the tube too, cause we
so
all the
with
way
just that little bit,
live.
so with just them
Uh,
little bit of five
all the
animals,
way live.
and they said don't start it all at once because you got to get to know the animals. If you start it all at once, you'll be like a farmer's chaos. Then you'll be acting like how the world is tripping right now. You wouldn't know how to maximize your profit. So they said start out with the chickens and work your way up. Work your way up. And I was like, once I looked at it and I thought about the chickens in my backyard, I got half the amount of chickens of what they said you need to go with per year to lay enough eggs to make at least 15 to 2,000 a month on eggs if you do it right. I was like, oh my god,
That's a whole lot of haircuts, MB.
yes,
That's a whole lot of haircuts.
but it's doable after
Yeah, I'm just saying. You know how before they was talking about how haircuts would cost like 5 eggs.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You crazy? He said,
I mean, because it's going back to the trading days, bartering.
yeah, and they said farmers markets and local stores and stuff like that, mom and pop shops. Those ones is where you want to sell your product because yours is worth more than the ones that came from these big uh, chicken farms and stuff. Because yours is local and it's more value to local grown food.
It's almost as they say, farm to fork.
Yep. So it was better.
Yes, sir. And so with that, I mean, we want to go ahead and pull up some of these topics that we want to talk about now, since we all the way live now. We crossed over. Behind the back, no look pass from Magic.
Look, what topic should we start with first? We got a couple of topics for these people. We got the Druski dressing
Mm,
up as Erika Kirk. We got the um No Kings protest. We got the Iran war. We
we
got the
got this China
food.
gobbling up the physical silver.
Hit them. You know.
We got let me see, we got some the government. Oh, the government is insolvent. And then, like we said about that $200 a barrel for that oil, we know that India is starting to use something else other than the U.S. dollar to get it. So what should we go with first? Shall we mix it up? Because that's today's topic. Shall we go first with just a little bit of financial?
Or should we go with a little bit of comedy?
We'll put that in the middle because that'll break it up with all the seriousness. Because people can't take too much seriousness at once. You got to break that up because you get too serious, they'll be like, "Oh, I don't know, I don't know." We don't want to, mainstream news is a little bit too serious.
So hit them with a little bit of finance.
Okay, so first off, we're gonna let you know where your money is sitting at right now. For those of y'all that know to buy in the dip, go ahead and buy in the dip, as we say. I'm gonna let y'all know that gold is at a whopping $4,500,
All right, hold on.
$2.25.
So I'll do that and share that screen
I certainly will.
because people got to see this sometimes. Sometimes they hear it, but when they see it, Sometimes they gotta see it to believe it. Some people is from
Mm,
the show me state, you know. Some people
gotcha.
it's like, yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I need to see it.
Yeah, for some reason we're running a little slow right now.
Yeah, they gotta know about prices go up and prices go down. When do you make your money? You make your money when the prices go down. Why? Because you're supposed to buy in the dip. When the prices is high, you're supposed to sell. I ain't gonna say sell too much because you never know when it's gonna let's say keep going up too high. Because we know the price is gonna go back down sometime. And when it dipped below you made your profit margin that you want to make, when it goes back down, you hurry up and buy. That's why they said that in the old movie. Hurry up and buy. You know? So we have to get in where we fit in. Some people can't be scared. I was scared at one time, but being scared was nothing but fear. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Sometimes you got to look at no as next opportunity. You got to get involved with a good system. System is save yourself time, energy, and money. And that's what we're presenting here. How to save yourself time, energy, and money. Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and over again and getting the same result, which is a bad result. That's the definition of insanity. So you got to pay attention to the market. You got to know when to buy. You got to know when to sell. You got to know when to hold them. It's almost like playing poker.
Know when to hold them, know when to fold
You
them.
got to have your poker face on. Because if your
Keep
poker
it on.
face not on, you'll and you invested all your funds when it was gold right here was 5,500 a ounce, and you wasn't in it for the long run, but you was just in it for the moment because you saw everybody else buying at that moment because the price was up. But what you didn't do was follow the market. You didn't follow the candlestick. You got to
The
realize
ebbs
that.
and flows.
Yeah, it's an ebb and flow. It goes up, it goes down. It goes up, it goes down. Some people cried. Some people lost millions. Some people lost everything, right? But guess what? The people that waited or only invested a couple of hundred, a couple of thousand, maybe 1 million out of their 20 million, and then when it dipped, now they like, there's the dip. Now this is the time to buy because they know it got potential to go back up to the 55 and higher. That's when they make their money. You buy during the dip. What do you think?
I say you buy during a dip all the time. All the time. Like we say, that's the best time to get it. Because if not, you got to remember, this is what we do. You have lost a chance if you do not buy in the dip. And so, with that, I'm going to go ahead and let you know silver is at a whopping $70.42. What? $70.42. That means if you don't get your silver in right now, you really know that you're going to take a loss when it starts to go up to that $200 mark because they already said be aware. And I'm going to show you because, as we say, the silver market is just as important as all the rest of the markets. And guess who else is in it to win it?
Who?
Guess who else is in it to win it?
Copper.
Mm-mm. China. China's in it to win it. Why are they in it to win it? Because they know something that most other people don't know. But I'm gonna let you know platinum is at $1,873.40. Palladium is at $1,396.50. Rhodium is still going up at $11,050. Copper went down to $5.46. But let me tell you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and segue into this, as we say, this China thing here, because that's important for you guys to understand about that physical. So what's happening is, we're going to tell you, according to Money Metals, China is rapidly accumulating physical silver, pulling supply away from Western markets and tightening global availability. This isn't paper trading. This is real metal, bars, coins, industrial supply being absorbed at scale. And when physical silver moves, the entire market changes. Money Metal is highlighting the behind this surge is the industrial demand exploding, especially in solar panels, electronics, and EVs.
Mm.
China dominates global refining capacity, meaning it controls how silver flows. And most importantly, China is willing to pay premiums to secure supply. That alone creates a powerful incentive because that means silver is flowing east. Western inventors are going to shrink and the supply tightens globally. But here's when it gets serious. When COMEX inventories are declined, physical silver is being withdrawn from exchanges, and refining bottlenecks are slowing supply chains at the same time. China's demand is pulling metal out of the circulation. That's going to create a dangerous imbalance because if you know anything about the digital currency, which is transferring over into the paper currency is transferring over into a digital currency. The paper silver markets say one thing, the physical reality says another, and guess what? The digital in the middle says the markets don't correct, they snap. This isn't just about silver, this is about control of a critical resource. You got to remember silver is essential for clean air, clean energy, artificial intelligence, military technology, and global electronics. In fact, what you're looking at right now has silver in it. China isn't just buying up silver for profit, it's securing strategic dominance in the industries of the future.
Mm.
So let's break down the key takeaways. One, physical demand is overpowering paper markets. Two, China's premiums are pulling silver out of the West. Three, the supply chains are strained and tightening. Inventories on major exchanges are shrinking, and the global silver market is under increasing pressure. In short, the metal is moving and is not coming back easily. So, what does this mean for you as an investor, as a person that's looking out for their family? You need to do a couple of things. Focus on your physical ownership. Make sure you get it in your hand. Make sure you get it into your safety deposits, whatever you want to put, wherever you want to place them. But make sure you get you some physical silver. This is not short-term trading. Think long-term. So if you got silver, digital currency, get you long-term strategies. Set them into place now. Stick to the simple bullion products. Don't go heavy. Don't try to get to something that you think is all fancy. No, stay simple. Get you a couple of bars, get you a couple of coins, stack them to the side. And then also understand the market because not all silver is equal. Not all silver is equal. So that's letting you know, depending on where you get it from, is going to determine the quality and the price of it. So For the bottom line, with China accumulating so much physical silver and the supply chain tightening, the gap between paper promises and the real metal is going to grow wider by the day. And then when the world finally realizes how much silver has already moved, it's going to be too late to get it at today's price. Because what have I told you before? I'm going to tell you again right now because it's always the truth.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
What?
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
And that's a fact.
He's certified.
And so let me know how you feel about that, MB.
Uh, you know how I feel about investments, especially about the silver market, and knowing that it's in a place that people can actually get it. And when I say people, I'm meaning, let's say, the average family, because there's a big margin between real wealth in United States. There's a lot of millionaires, there's a lot of billionaires, right? But there's even more people in the lower class. They collapsed the middle class into the lower class because even the average person in California, even if you make $250,000 a year, some people are still living paycheck to paycheck. And you would want to say how and why. It's because I ain't gonna say bad investments, but the price of living. The more money you make, the higher they tax you. So if you invest right in the right locations, silver, and with China making this type of move like that, the margin is gonna go up in the middle. It's actually gonna be now back to a middle class if the people pay attention to where to put their money. Stop buying these Jordans. Stop buying these Birkin bags. Stop buying all this Gucci. Invest for the next 1, 3, 5, and invest for your children. That's what happened with the baby boomers and those generations. They were invested, even though it was different back then. They were giving a lot of trades out. Grandparents, or let's say parents, was teaching trades, and they were also invested.
Warren
And
Buffett said something.
huh?
And I said, Warren Buffett said something. He said, if you can get beyond that $20,000 mark, that gives you enough breathing space to do something completely different. And mentally, it changes your perspective if you can maintain above that 20,000.
I believe that. I believe that.
And when I was thinking about that, you got to think whether that's cash, whether that's 401k, whether that's silver, gold, anything of good hard asset commodity that's not going to lose value. That puts you in a mind space in your job like, I don't need to work overtime.
Or,
Why?
or hold on. If you do work overtime, it's to put more towards your investments. It's
It
not like,
was your choice. You
yeah,
see what I'm saying? It puts you in more of a power position of saying, you know what? Do I want to work myself more, or do I want to actually relax and stay on cruise control and keep it moving like I have? But it gives you less stress. And then you got to think about what you got coming up next when we say less stress. Who do we have that's wishing that they had less stress in the world right now? I
everybody.
think that everybody, but one person in particular, just so happened to have rolled over this week.
Mm,
I see you had the gun loaded, so he rolled over this week. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
man, we all we weren't fans of golf. A lot of let's just keep it real. and I'm speaking to a certain community. They weren't fans of golf until one particular person, Mr. Tiger Woods, stepped into the golf world, and that gave us a reason to watch. When he first stepped into the golf world, all eyes was on the golf. When he was behind the tee and before he make his swing, when I say the world was quiet, everybody was looking, it was like the birds was quiet, right? So from all that attention that he got from being the number one golfer in his peak, now it all come crashing down. Like, how do you destroy your legacy in by doing a couple of things? He was involved in one car accident a couple of years ago. We all known about that, right? We all know about the scandals and everything they try to put out there because they always try to break people down and bring them down, try to dim your light. Well, he's dimming his own light, y'all. He's dimming his own light with some stuff like this right here. So it says that authority says the incident happened on March 27 near Woods' home on Jupiter Island, where he was reportedly driving at a high rate speed while attempting to pass a truck. Come on now, Mr. Woods. You driving at a high rate speed, attempting to pass a truck because you trying to get home. During that maneuver, his vehicle clipped the trailer, the back of the trailer, because the truck was towing the trailer. They had to be gardeners or something like that, and flipped onto its side. The driver's side. I do know that. I can't play the video, but when I seen how the truck flipped, it was on the driver's side. So they said, despite the severity of the crash, Mr. Woods was not injured, and he was able to exit the vehicle safely because he climbed out the passenger window, y'all. Because when the police pulled up in the video, Tiger Woods was across the street. So they didn't know. They wanted to know, was anybody else in the car with him? You know, is anybody hurt? You know, what's going on? But they say this is where the story take a turn. Officials confirmed that Woods passed a breathalyzer test showing no alcohol in his system. So right there, you would think no DUI. He must be, he must be cleared. But this is the problem. He refused to take a urine test, which resulted in additional charges. Why, y'all? Yeah, hit that. Yeah. Why, y'all? Like, he already just took a breathalyzer test. We all know out here in California, when you on side of the road and they think you under DUI or something like that, they automatically gonna make you do the breathalyzer. Automatically. So, and then they make you do the little walk. If you pass the breathalyzer, they make you do the little walk. They make you raise your little right leg, put your nod up and stuff. They make you do things.
Sound like you know something about that.
Caught one. All right, so
okay.
moving on. Now, Mr. Woods is facing misdemeanor charges, including driving under the influence, property damage, and refusal to submit lawful tests. And that's coming from the Rudder source. Woods taken into custody and later released after several hours. He's required by law, because they only can hold you for so long. Even with that, they hold you until you sober up. Then they either let you bail out or they let you out on OR, and then you got to show up to court a couple of weeks later or a week later with a lawyer or a public defender. So this incident is also raising larger concerns. It also adds to the history. Remember when I said this, y'all? I said that it adds to the history of previous driving related issues involving Woods putting both his personal and professional future under review and scrutiny. Cause he been, oh man, I like Mr. Woods.
Mm, mm,
He
mm.
been doing this. And just to say this, just days before the crash, Wood had made a return to competitive golf. He just jumped back into it.
Oh, that right there is the definite.
They say
Was just coming back.
from him trying to make his comeback, this situation even made it more impactful on his career moving forward. So,
Mm.
so while no one was physically hurt, the legal and reputation consequences could be significant. Can be significant. So with Mr. Woods doing all that, oh man, and he's trying to make his great comeback. This was the wrong time to be behind the wheel and doing things like this.
Mm, mm.
So with that, y'all, I think we need to bring this into a commercial break because we liked it, Mr. Woods. The birthday.
We certainly did, cause man.
The birth date and a death date. But the most important part of your life is the dash between them. I wrote this to show you how to break generational curses and take control of your money and legacy. Go grab it on Amazon right now.
Stop chasing.
The birth date and a death date. But the most
Stop chasing money. Kings build wealth. This is the blueprint for identity rooted power. Wealth starts with who you are. Ethy revealed the pattern. W.B.I.V. Jenkins, put it in your hands. Get your copy of The Hidden Kings Road to Riches today.
all right, y'all. We back. We
Yes,
back.
sir.
We back.
Yes.
But go on and get y'all copies of them books. Like we say, it's about building a legacy. It's all about what you're doing in between them dashes while you're here, and it's about wealth building. That's why we made them two books, one from me and one from Ethan. And with those two books right there, it'll line y'all up a little bit. And Mr. Woods just messed up his legacy right there. He already had his finances a little bit straight, but as far as his legacy, that was one perfect way to wreck your legacy.
You are so right about that one. And with that, we want to make sure that we don't wreck ours because you got to see that the government is definitely wrecking it. Yes, this matters to all of us. And I'm gonna actually tell you why it matters to all of us. Because this report here is gonna let you know what really is going on. So what if I told you the most powerful government on earth is technically broke? Not struggling, not in danger, but already insolvent, and no one is talking about it. According to the report from Money Metals, over 47 yeah, I had to look at that more than once. Over $47 trillion in liabilities and just $6 trillion in assets. That's nearly $8 owed for every $1 owned. If this were a business, it would already be bankrupt. Let that sink in, yo. The official net position, negative $41.7 trillion.
Mm,
And it's not slowing down.
mm.
In just 1 year, the hole got deeper by over, I'm going to say it, $2 trillion. Do you understand that? $2 trillion. This isn't a future problem. This is happening right now. So why aren't you hearing about this? Why isn't it in the headline news? every single day. Well, according to the article, there's near total media silence. There's near total media silence because once people understand this, everything changed. Here's where it hits you. The government doesn't just run out of money. Instead, it prints more, it borrows more, it inflates more. And that means your dollar buys less, your savings lose value, your cost of living rises. Meanwhile, interest on the debt alone has exploded to around 1.2 trillion dollars per year.
Mm.
That is not sustainable. And around the world, the countries are watching, and slowly, quietly, they're beginning to move away from the US dollar. Less demand for US debt means more pressure on the system. More pressure means more printing. And more printing means what? More inflation. So, what is the meaning? Smart money doing. So, what is the smart money doing? They're not waiting. They're moving into real assets. They're moving into gold, silver, and anything tangible.
Shout out Monique. Shout out Monique. Oh, that's Mountain Sniper. Shout out Mountain Sniper.
For sure, for sure. Because while currencies can be printed, real money cannot. This isn't about fear. It's not about it. This is not about fear. This is definitely about awareness. The system may not collapse tomorrow, but the cracks are already there. And those who see it early have the advantage. The question isn't if this matters. The question is, what will you do before everyone else realizes it? $47 trillion in debt. Now what? Smart money is moving. Don't wait until it's too late. You see what I'm saying? Don't wait till it's too late. Don't wait till silver and gold get back up to record highs again before you decide to say, you know what? Let me go ahead and get my issue. Because by that time, you're going to be saying, oh, it's too late.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to be saying it's too late at that point. And I don't know what in the world you doing right now, but I know what I'm doing right now. I'm getting my issue.
All right, y'all. So now we go move on to tonight's trending topic. Another one of tonight's trending topics. We're gonna talk about the comedian Druski, because he's taking over social media with his Erika Kirk skit. Oh my god! If y'all
Get him.
if y'all haven't watched that, I think y'all need to go watch that. Y'all know why? Because the big question is, did it really go viral just because it was funny? You know, did it go viral just because it was funny? I ain't gonna lie, it was funny though. It was funny. But the real answer is no. There's more to it, and there's more behind it and what he was really out there saying. So first, the skit hits on reliability. The viewers immediately recognize the character, whether from church culture or everyday life. People felt like close the door. All right, people felt like they seen Erika Kirk before, and that instant connection drove shares. Everybody started sharing it because soon as they saw Druski dressed up like that, they thought that was Erika Kirk. Whether you was from the church community or everyday, life and people, because I watched a couple of things that Erika Kirk said. So when I seen it first pop up, I ain't gonna lie, I thought it was Erika, but then right off the back, I noticed a couple of different features. So it was like, I instantly knew that it was, I could say about 5 seconds, 10 seconds into the skit, I noticed that it wasn't her. So, second, it wasn't just comedy, it was accuracy. Druski didn't just tell jokes. He embodied a real personality type, from the voice to body language. When he was sitting there, you should have seen his little, I mean, I could say his little arms, but you should have seen his arms. You should have seen the way that his posture and stuff like that. So he was embodying the character of Erika Kirk. And it felt authentic. Like, it really made the audience say, I know someone exactly like this. Because as you watch it, I know everybody that's listening to this podcast, y'all go back out there and y'all go watch the skit Druski putting on Erika Kirk. You know, third, the skit was built for social media. Short, punchy moments, made it easy to clip, repost, and turn into memes. I'm talking about it went viral fast. People was clipping it. We didn't clip it, but I know a lot of other platforms that did clip it because I seen it everywhere. I seen it on X, Facebook, Instagram, other this Rumble platform. I seen it on everywhere. Everybody was making little memes of it. So, fourth, it created conversation. Viewers weren't just watching; they was reacting, tagging friends, quoting lines. The interaction pushed it into the algorithm. When I say it was going, man, millions of views in a day. Millions. I'm talking about millions of views. I was like, man, this stuff is going crazy. And finally, the timing played a major role. The internet is currently favoring character based on humor, especially the content that reflects real life situations. Druski developed exactly that at the perfect moment. So while the skit is definitely funny, it was virally comes from the combination of reliability, accuracy, shareability, and timing. And the reaction from the Erika Kirk fans, oh my god. When I was watching them, a lot of them watched it because just like us, or should I say just like me, they thought it was Erika Kirk. And then they was like, okay, that's just somebody playing a role of Erika Kirk. Okay, it's they trying to make a funny skit. But when they dug and realized what he was doing and how he was acting and what he was portraying, it was like they was like, okay, Drewski, this is not funny. This is really not funny. So then they started bashing Drewski. Some of them was saying cancel Drewski, and I'm like, come on now, you can't just cancel somebody like this over humor just because
Man,
just because it was on point. You cannot cancel somebody. You can give your opinion because everybody got a right to their opinion. But to just say, hey, let's cancel this person because he said this about that person, and it was one thing though. It was one thing. It was one thing that's really digging deep. He put on the mask of Erika Kirk, and he's a black guy. So then, what some of the other reactors, and let's say some of the other Europeans was like, well, since he did that, is it okay for us to bring back, blackface? And that's where they was like, nah, this is drawing the line. And they was like, well, Drewski, you took it a little across the line by doing this skit of Erika Kirk. First, you already did the skit of the NASCAR. And when he did the NASCAR, he got a lot of kickback from that. So how far can is allowed for Drewski to push this? Is it fair? Is it right? Is it morally right? Or is it just for a little fun? But if he's doing it for a little fun, that's bringing the reaction out of people to where like, hey, it's not funny though. And that was
I
just
feel
like
like
how some of the other people was feeling like that about blackface. Like, hey, it's not funny though.
it's
So
true.
so
We
we
weren't
got we
we
got
weren't
to.
thinking that was funny.
So how do you feel about everything once I just broke it down about the Druski, Erika Kirk in this situation?
Well, I would have to say He got a lot of kickback when he did the thing about the mega church.
Oh yeah,
So you got to think he's just bringing entertainment and the reality of what he sees these things through his eyes. Period. Now, if somebody want to get, because that's just like a movie director, you can't get mad because the Wayans did white chicks. You
no,
see what I'm saying? All
yeah,
he did was play a white chick in a real movie. His life. It was a day in the life of Druski, basically, and the images of what he sees. But he was like, you know what? I feel like I want to be a complete different person today. I'm gonna embody another character like a true actor would, like a Morgan Freeman or a Jamie Foxx or anybody, a Denzel. I'm gonna be somebody else right now.
yeah,
You see what I'm saying? And he was like, you know what? And I'm gonna show the world that I do have talent to do this myself. Whether he came up with the whole skit himself, anything to that nature, that's one portion of it. That's the creativity of it. Okay. Now, on a more deeper level of it, that also shows you how quickly somebody can become somebody else and become themselves again just that fast.
yeah,
Because if they're creating these plastic masks and bodies and stuff like that, they were doing it for Hollywood for a long time. We already knew that. But we're seeing how much more easily accessible it is. That's something that I feel he's also exposing, because you got to realize he's technically just an average person that has just gone social media viral. He just now has the networking to say, hey, dude, I see you do creative masks and stuff like that. You mind printing me one up? Just like somebody would print up a Freddy Krueger mask.
true. Oh, the
You see
Halloween
what I'm,
mask when we going into the spirit shop.
bingo. You see what I'm saying? All he did was had access to somebody that was willing to give him, or create the head for him, and then the hands to fit his hands properly, the sleeves. You see what I'm saying? So now he can, and I think it was the legs too, wasn't it?
I think so. I think so.
So either way it goes, he might not have even did the legs, but either way is one of those. He embodied the character at that time, and he was able to get the creative material to do it. So with that being, you can, like the dude that said he was a Pablo what was it, Pacific Beach Pete, whatever his name is, the one they tried to say he looked like Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah,
You see, so with that being, it's one of those that right there just shows characteristic designs. Period. People look like other people no matter what. You can have a mistaken identity no matter what, and that's how sometimes people ending up in bad situations.
yeah,
And so, that right there, I feel was just comical, honestly, because it showed creativity, it showed style. I mean, it reminded me of the movie White Chicks. I mean, you see what I'm saying? It was all creativity in there. So then, with the people that are saying, well, is that too far because he did whiteface basically? Was it too far when the Wayans did White Chicks? I don't think so. I think it was comedy, and that's a classic movie. People still watch it to
where
this
they
day.
came out
So
with the number two. They came out with number two.
you see what I'm saying? So now with that being is one of those, you can't be upset with the creativity of it. Now you're trying to be political about it. You're trying to, push a whole nother agenda about it when you're not looking at the fact that it was just comedic creativity. I mean, because honestly, nobody would know, my understanding, who Druski is if he did not come up with creative skits and things of that nature.
No.
That's his character. He's a creator. So you can't be mad at the content because it wasn't, it, to some of them, they feel it was offensive because he was a character that they feel he shouldn't have been. Well, guess what? You can't be mad when they use, let's say, a white person instead of a light skinned person to play a character in a true story based historical movie.
Yeah.
It's happened for years. So you can't be upset with that because he just played a character. We could get mad for lying to us about history
Uh,
because that's what happens when you depict the wrong character or the wrong shade of a character that historically they might have been darker in skin, but you use a Caucasian person for this person instead of a Puerto Rican or a light skinned Mexican that should have been a light skinned Mexican or anything like that. You see what I'm saying? So it happens in movies just because they fit the part. They fit the agenda at that time, that agendic part. So you got to kind of look at that in that instance. I'm not gonna be mad at Druski. In fact, I'm gonna look at Druski and give him 2 thumbs up on that one because that was funny. It created content, it created conversation, and a lot of people might not like it, but you know what? Tell them to cut back. Tell them to cut back because if they don't cut back, they're gonna be asking for them oil prices to cut back.
yeah.
For real, they're gonna be asking for them oil prices to cut back.
Like the Tin Man screaming, oil,
Man,
oil.
like the Tin Man. For reals, like the Tin Man, because that's one of those you can't get upset because it's one of those. Hey,
The,
you did this to us.
the Tin Man represented silver, and oil represented the prices of silver and oil. How the prices of silver was gonna go.
Hey, and the crazy part is that according to this last report that I got, India is increasingly purchasing oil using alternatives to the U.S. dollar, which once again signals another move deeper transforming the global financial system. Because for decades, the global market is dominated. It was dominated by the petrodollar. I forgot to switch out my screen. I apologize. It was dominated by the petrodollar.
Mm.
And so nearly all major oil transactions have been traditionally priced and settled in dollars. But that's just the beginning. India is only one of the world's largest energy consumers that's now buying oil using other currencies. So I really wonder what they're using now.
I was just about to say that. I wonder what type of currency are they using? Are they using Bitcoin?
Including including direct trade arrangements with key suppliers.
See?
This shift is accelerated in recent years, especially as geopolitical tensions and economic sanctions have reshaped the global trade relationships. So why is this important? Because the dominance of the US dollar in global trade has long been a cornerstone of American economic power. When countries begin moving away from the dollar, especially something as critical as oil, it signals a potential shift in the balance. This trend is often referred to as a de-dollarization.
Mm.
The implications are extending far beyond oil though, because as more countries experiment with alternative payment systems, we could see the rise of multi-currency trade networks, reducing reliance on any single global reserve currency. For commodity markets, especially oil and precious metals, this shift could lead to increased price fluctuations and new opportunities. So, what does this mean for the everyday investor like you and I? Well, there's going to be periods of currency uncertainty, often driven, which is often going to drive the demand for hard assets like gold and silver, assets that are not tied to any one government or monetary system. Investors may want to consider diversifying into tangible assets, monitoring the global energy and currency trends, taking a more long term approach to wealth preservation. So in summary, I'm gonna tell you, India's move away from the dollar in the oil trade is more than a policy shift. It signals a changing time in the global economy, and is always staying informed may be your most valuable investment. So that right there, I'm going to tell you is really important for you to think about your generations that are coming. And for those that are a little more spiritual, your life cycle, how do you want to come back? You want to come back broke again, or you want to come back with some type of currency already put away? And from the sounds of it, silver and gold ain't never went nowhere. So if you put it away, it's gonna be there forever, forever and ever,
Forever.
forever, ever, forever, ever, ever.
That's what they got to
And
do.
with that, we're gonna take a small commercial break before we slide into our last little article that we got for the day, so we can bring you some more comedy and see how the actual world is gonna be today. So, with that being,
A birth date and a death date. But the most important part of your life is the dash between them. I wrote this to show you how to break generational curses and take control of your money and legacies. Go grab it on Amazon right now.
Stop chasing money, kings build wealth. This is the blueprint for identity, rooted power. Wealth starts with who you are. Ethy revealed the pattern. WBIV Jenkins put it in your hands. Get your copy of The Hidden King's Road to Riches today.
there you go, there you go.
Man,
So let's see what we got last up there, MB. What you got on the sauce plate? Because I think we have one more comical one. Because I know that oh yeah, Jay Z did an interview this week too on GQ. I forgot about that.
uh,
Jay came out the cuts.
if you want to drop that one, you can drop that one. Because I was going to do the No Kings protest, but I'm kind of, yeah,
Yeah,
you know, you know, we 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 might can go with Jigga, Jigga, Jigga,
go
my
with Jigga.
Jigga.
Let's see, because he did a real good interview, and he said some things. Oh, I did have that. I sent it to you.
And we can do Jigga because he don't do interviews. So that
Yeah,
is,
I was gonna say I sent that to you.
yeah, that's like a rare treat. That's a rare treat.
Yeah, because that was one of those. He said some things off in there. A lot of people probably wouldn't even pay attention to.
I started.
But
Uh,
if you're a real fan of what he's done and things of that nature, then it man. Let me see if it's over here on X or something. Because I know I got the other clip, but we might not be able to run that one over here because it might affect what happens over there.
well, just run the picture, and let us know what you heard in the interview.
Okay, because I mean we can always listen to it
Yeah,
because I do have that because of the fact that it's one of those he said some things that was catching as they would say. It was catching. I'm trying to see if because I know I sent the interview. Wow. No, I might not. But let's see if I can find something for us.
yeah, I found the article where they're talking about the interview, about how GQ was talking about his interview.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one that we've been looking for.
This. At my screen to the stage. Coming to the stage.
Yep, that's the one.
All right,
That
y'all.
would be the one.
So y'all see this right here. Now let me on the scroll so we can talk about it. We can talk about it. Talk about it. They say exclusive, the Jay-Z interview. Jay-Z has kept his thoughts to himself for the better part of the past decade. Like I said, Jay-Z really don't do interviews, y'all. But here, in a rare interview, he puts everything on the table. Why now? Why is he putting everything on the table today? Reflecting on music, business, family, and life over 30 years since the release of Reasonable Doubt. Now, that was a dope album, y'all. I did, you know, in 2002 during an instant classic freestyle on Hot 97, Jay-Z rapped, even in my absence, my presence is felt. Like they gotta tell you, like I gotta tell you, I'm the king, dog, if nothing else. Like most of Jay Z lines, 20 years plus later, they feel timelessly prophetic. Even if not even more potent, because the stuff that he said, he disappeared for a long time, and he's still up there. He's still up there as the GOAT, one of the GOATs. As hip hop and pop culture, the Zayahis surge on. The main character we keep returning to admit all of other narratives and storylines, sometimes even more when he tries to step away. Like I said, Jay-Z, he like to be gone. So when every time he come back or drop an album, he's one of the hot topics. It's been 9 years since Jay-Z's last solo album, the Rap Elder Statesman Manifesto, 4.44. 6 years since his last project, Jay-Z Electronics, a written testimony on which he featured. Nearly 4 years since his Titanic verse, God. So you get the idea. He just don't be around like that.
Yeah, what I think what it is, bro, is it is because he said something about this. I think it's either 20 or 25 years for the anniversary of that record that he was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then the reason I was looking at the video that I watched, and it's starting to come back to me about what was said in it real quick. He was saying that it took him a long time because when all the allegations and stuff came out on him, that upset him so much that he was so angry it put him in a different mind space. And then, he was just thankful that he had such a protective set of people that was around him to help not only protect him, but also ask him, what is it that you need? How can we help you? It wasn't
Yeah,
a group of people saying, hey, my hand is out. Let me, give me this, give me that. It was a bunch of people saying, how can I help you? And then he was mentioning how being from the streets, and we have a code in the streets, no women, no children. And coming from the streets and holding on to that code as he moved into the industry, he said that was just something that he couldn't have on him. And so that's why he fought so hard, because it's one of those, it's not in him to just give up like that. And just, he could have paid it and got rid of it real quick, but then he still kind of had that jacket on him. He wouldn't have been innocent. It'd have just been like, oh, he got rid of it quick. No, he really wanted to maintain that innocence in that situation, which is
yeah,
understandable in, for any man that's going through something like that. And then he said once he kind of got himself back together mentally, he was like, it's time. It's time. But
yeah,
that was one of the things that really held him up was, that situation.
yeah. Because then right here, they said, but meanwhile, fans appeal for new music. even if it's just a great verse on a wholly anticipated album. Culture continues to position itself under Jay-Z's ever-winding umbrella, you know. But they saying, he in charge of the halftime. He's he got his own little champagne, and that's what helped him build over himself to be a self-made billionaire, right? But now, let's say, right here it says, and now he wanted to touch on stage recently. He's done he's done so on stops of a global tour with his wife, Beyonce, which is the biggest pop star on earth. It sets that's happening for future or feature their eldest daughter as a performer. So he's gonna step back in the spotlight. His wife is already the biggest pop star. And once he stepped back into the spotlight, watch. They bringing their daughter out there. They're gonna push her out there, and then Beyonce and Jay-Z is gonna step fully back. And this will probably be his last time ever jumping back out there.
Actually, he was talking about that too because he referred to, you know how they have the nepo babies. Well, what happened was he was like he sees her working hard to actually get what she wants, because some of the things that she was being picked up for, he had to really tell her, nah, you can't do that. That's a little too grown for you right now. But then the things that she has been able to do, he could see her growth from the beginning when she was a little nervous to hit the stage to where she's now going out there and memorizing all the choreography to the point where, she's trying to go out there with some of the adult women. And he had to really pump her brakes on that one. Like, nah, you gotta hold up a little bit. You can't do everything.
Yeah.
You gotta grow into something. So he's seen her growth, and he said that she'll most likely be touring again, some more with some of the other people. But he just has to be selective about how he sends her out and who he sends her with. So that right there would say that even with a lot of people saying he's in certain places or whatever, he morally still has a code within himself at that point.
Yeah.
When you kind of think about that, and him explaining that. So I would have to say that kind of, I don't know him personally. I would, love to be in business with him, at some point in time, as far as business, but not, some other things like, other, but I would like to, wouldn't mind, he's a great businessman. That's the one thing I can say. He's a great businessman. After all, how does somebody sell a product before it hits the market? It's already sold out. I need to know that formula. Because I'm pretty sure he's done it more than once, because we've seen it with what was it, his wife's book, or a couple of her CDs.
So you pump it up. It's all about the promotion.
Yeah, I understand. It's just, where I'm going with that.
It's all about the promotion and the pre-sale. You get people on.
You gonna get it out there.
People waiting, just like on our books. Our books been on Amazon. People was getting them. Now, before we started advertising, they were already on Amazon, so people could have got the pre-orders before we even started letting people know.
Yep. You're right about that one. As we say, promotions and stuff is everything in what you're trying to do, because you want to pump it up so that people can know. After all, that's why we play our commercials, to let them know that we are here. We are here. And with that, I'm going to let you guys know once again. Go and get it off of Amazon.
The birth date and a death date. But the most important part of your life is the dash between them. I wrote this to show you how to break generational curses and take control of your money and legacy. Go grab it on Amazon right now.
Stop chasing money, kings build wealth. This is the blueprint for identity, rooted power. Wealth starts with who you are. Ether revealed the pattern. WBIV Jenkins, put it in your hands. Get your copy of The Hidden King's Road to Riches today.
Yes, y'all. And just giving y'all a little taste of it. Make sure you go to Amazon, get those books. Make sure you run over to, any place that you want to go and get your hot commodities from. We'll just say it like that. Go anywhere you want to get your hot commodities from. Why? Because we already know that
yesterday's price is not today's price. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Welcome to
He's certified.
Welcome to B-Talk Media.
Yeah, wake up, no luck, it's grind divine. Stack my wins, can't waste no time. They were sleeping on the kid, now I'm headline shine. Tell them wake up, it's my time to climb. Yeah, wake up, it's my time to climb. Hit that button, 1 million subscribe. Wake